Before I say anything, I need you to know that I don't do this for the surface level answers. This isn't about vague reassurance or a one-size-fits-all kind of message. I'm here because I've tapped into a certain frequency, and if you are receiving this message and it resonates with you, it means either you are on that frequency or you are adjacent to it. The more in the frequency you are, the more this is going to resonate with you. I'm here because I feel that you have a presence that deserves acknowledgement. Real, intentional acknowledgement. And for some reason, I feel that what I have to say to you now really does matter. When I look at you, or rather, when I sense the energy around your life, it's not random. You are not random. There is a depth to you that I'd guess you have spent a lot of time hiding. Or maybe not hiding, but guarding. I don't think this world has made it easy for you to be as open as you would have liked. You have learned to be careful about showing people your whole self because you have been in spaces or around people who didn't really know what to do with all that you had to offer. Maybe you don't even consciously think about it this way, but there is a part of you that is holding back. Because you have learned the hard way that not everyone knows what to do with you. What really strikes me though is how this has not stopped you from caring. If anything, I think it has made you more aware, more attuned to what other people think and what they need, and more intentional about how you show up. I feel like you're probably the kind of person that when you walk into a room, you can kind of like sense what is going on. Like you can feel the tension, the unspoken things, the weight of what other people are carrying. And I think a lot of the times you don't just notice it, you also internalize it. And so you carry it with them. And maybe no one has ever thanked you for that. Maybe no one even realizes that you do it. Maybe you don't even realize that you do it. But I want to tell you now that it does not go unnoticed. Not by me, not by the angels watching over you. And even if the people don't realize it was you, it also doesn't go unnoticed by the people who feel lighter when they are in your presence. I do feel like you've probably wrestled with this part of yourself. There is a tenderness to you, but also a frustration. Like you've been asking yourself, why do I feel so much? Why do I have to take on so much? It's like you've tried to numb it at times or dismiss it, thinking this isn't practical, I can't carry all of this forever. And yet you do. Somehow you do. I want you to know this is not a weakness. It's not a burden in the way people might tell you that it is, in the way that you might sometimes feel that it is. The way you feel things so deeply, the way you notice like the finest little cracks and connections that other people don't see so easily. It's not something to fix. It is one of the most important gifts that you have. And the thing about gifts like yours is they can feel very lonely if you do not know how to honor them. It's like hearing this song inside of you that nobody else can hear. You know it's there, you can feel it, you can hear it, but where is the space to let it come through? How do you get other people to hear the same song? I wonder if that's been part of your struggle. Not that you doubt your purpose, but that you don't always know how to bring it into focus. I think you've tried in different ways. You've definitely taken steps before and made choices and maybe even like followed paths that you thought would lead to clarity. And yet here you are, still asking that question. Am I doing it right? Am I where I am supposed to be? If I could tell you one thing, it would be this. You have not missed anything. You haven't taken a wrong turn. Every choice you've made, every step that you have taken, even the ones you've questioned, has brought you closer to being the person that you were always meant to be. You have probably lived many lives as one, and there are most likely versions of you that you have outgrown but not yet let go of. Versions of you that you think you need to fix or make sense of. But I don't see it that way. I think all of those versions are still a part of you, and they are all valid. They are all making up the data set from which you are pulling to make the choices you are making in these moments that are leading you to build the life that you want and you're meant to live. So don't discredit them. They did exactly what they had to do, and they served their purpose. And if they did things that you would never want to do now, thank them for the fact that they did it and now you don't have to. That was important for someone to hear. Now, you might not realize this, but the very way that you move through the world is changing the world. It's in the way you listen, in the way you talk, in the way that you choose to stay, even when it would be easier to just walk away. It's in the way that you carry hope, even when you don't feel it for yourself. I also get the sense that you're standing on the edge of something. It feels like potential. Like there's something you've been circling for a while. Something that you're drawn to, but you haven't fully stepped into yet. It could be an idea or a dream, or maybe even just a new perspective on life or a new way of seeing yourself. But what I find interesting is that whatever this thing is, it definitely does scare you a little bit. And not because you doubt your ability, but because you know how much it really matters. And I get the sense that you have been waiting for a sign or the right time or the perfect version of you that would be able to do something that matters so much. The version of you listening to this right now, they are the perfect version. They are ready. You don't have to wait to become someone else or for the stars to align perfectly. You don't need to have all of the answers right now. You don't need to have a perfect plan or even perfect confidence. It's okay to doubt, as long as you do it anyways. You just need to take one step. Just take one step. Trust me on this. One step. I want to mention something about your relationships, and not just the ones that you have with other people, actually mostly the one that you have with yourself. There is definitely a strength in how you show up for other people, but when it comes to yourself, like so many of us out there, you do not always extend that same gentleness to yourself. Even when you try to, you seem to always be holding yourself to a little bit of a higher standard, and that can be a great thing when it comes to personal responsibility. But you need to inspect why you do that. Because if you are holding yourself to a higher standard, not so that you can constantly grow and improve, which you would be doing regardless as long as you keep moving forward, if you are not doing it for reasons like that, and instead you are holding yourself to a higher standard because you are so scared of disappointing the people around you or disappointing yourself, then that would definitely be a belief that you should work on changing, or at least shifting, because that is not how it's supposed to be, and it's not how it has to be. And what if I told you that you have already done more than enough? What if I told you that the people who matter, who really see you, don't need you to be perfect? They just need you to be you. I want you to imagine for a moment what it would be like to really let yourself breathe, to stop carrying the weight of all of these expectations that were never yours to begin with, to see yourself the way that I see you right now, not as someone who's figuring it out, but as someone who is already whole, already powerful, and already deeply worthy, the way that God sees you. I don't think your story is about finding your purpose. I think it's about realizing that you have been living it all along. The way you move through life, the way you make choices, the way you continue to grow, it's all part of it. And if you ever doubt that, just look at the people whose lives you have already touched. Look at the quiet ways that you have made things better, even when you didn't realize that you're doing it. You are not here to fix yourself. You are here to be yourself. And that has always been and will always be enough. No, I don't think you've come here just to sit with ideas. There is something deeper that you are seeking. Something you have been circling, like we said. It feels like clarity or maybe direction, but it's more than that. It's about understanding, not just what you're here to do, but also who you are here to be. And here's the truth, and please don't hate me for giving this as the answer, but you already know. Somewhere deep down, beneath the noise, beneath the overthinking and the self-doubt, you already know what it is that you are here for. You've always known. And the challenge has never been in finding it, but in accepting it. The only reason that you feel like you still need to find your purpose is because you think the one that you know you have can't possibly be it. You have this dream, you have this knowing what you're supposed to be doing, and then you have this voice that is telling you, no, that can't possibly be it, that there has to be a bigger purpose, there has to be something more, there has to be something different. Either way, you rationalize all these reasons for why what you know you're supposed to be doing is not possible for you to do, or rational for you to do, or logical for you to do, or maybe how it's not big enough or grand enough, and how you're supposed to be doing more and helping more. Either way, the reason you've been struggling in finding your purpose is because you already know what it is and you're just fighting accepting it. So don't do that. Stop fighting it. Trust yourself. Trust your knowing. It comes from the source of all creation. When was the last time that you really listened to yourself? Not the voice in your head that tries to keep you small, not the version of you that worries about being too much or not enough, but the quiet, steady voice inside, the one that knows. Have you noticed how it speaks in whispers, never demanding your attention, but always there, waiting for you to listen? I think you have heard it before. Maybe it has come to you in fleeting moments, in those flashes of clarity where everything feels like it fits. It might have come to you when you were doing something that lit you up inside, or when you felt an inexplicable pull towards something or someone that just made sense. It just felt right. But then the world gets loud again, doesn't it? The expectations, the distractions, the fear of being wrong, they all pile on, drowning out that quiet voice that was so clear mere moments ago. And I think that's why you are here now. Not because you need someone to give you an answer, to tell you what to do, but because you need someone to remind you to listen to yourself. Really listen. Let's go deeper into that. Let's explore what has been calling you, even if you're not sure what it is yet. I'm not talking about a grand career move or some big external shift, though it might show up that way eventually. I'm talking about the part of you that feels most alive, the part of you that has been waiting for permission to take up more space. I feel like you have spent a lot of your life trying to make sense of why you are the way that you are. There's the sense that you've always been a little bit different. You're one of those people that have always felt like you see the world through a lens that maybe nobody else does. You notice things that other people seem to be missing. You feel things that other people seem to be dismissing. And I think for a long time you tried to fit into the boxes that people handed you. You tried to shrink parts of yourself to match with what you thought was expected. But from what I can see, the world doesn't need you to be put in a box. It needs you to be exactly as expansive, as complicated, as alive as you are. You've probably noticed that even when you tone yourself down, there's always something that keeps pulling you back to who you really are. It's like no matter how much you try to fit into someone else's mold, there's this part of you that just refuses. It refuses to be erased, and I think that's because deep down you know that your life is not supposed to be a replica of anyone else's. And that can be really scary because it means there's no blueprint. So it might sound daunting, especially if you've been feeling like you don't know where the next step is. But you don't need to have the whole plan figured out. Purpose isn't something that you find one day and then just stick with forever. It's something you grow into piece by piece with every decision that you make, every action that you take. And from what I can sense, you are already busy stepping into it. Now let's talk about the decisions that you have made and you don't really give yourself credit for. I get the feeling that you have been a lot braver than you realize. And maybe it doesn't look like bravery in the traditional sense. Maybe it's quieter than that. But it shows in the way that you keep moving forward. Even when it feels like the world is working against you. It shows in the way that you continue to show up for people. Even when you weren't sure that you had anything left to give. I also think there's a part of you that has been waiting for someone else to tell you that it is okay to choose yourself. That it is not selfish to prioritize your own health and growth and healing. You've spent so much time making sure other people are okay. But when was the last time that you stopped and asked yourself what it is that you need? This isn't about abandoning the people that you care about. It's about realizing that the more you pour into yourself, the more you will have to give to others. I'm thinking right now specifically, I saw someone else talk about this woman that they had a conversation with, and this woman told them that never again will she pour from her own cup into someone else's cup. She will never take from what is inside of her and give to anyone else. She will only ever and always be pouring from the overflow of her cup. Which means that she will still be giving to others and filling their cups as much as she can, but she will only be doing it from the overflow of her cup, which means that she has to fill her cup to the point of overflowing before she can give to others. And I think if you are someone who feels that your entire purpose is to give to others, I think it's very important to have that kind of mindset where you promise to yourself that you will pour into yourself so much that you overflow, because then you can use that overflow to pour into other people. That is a much healthier way for givers to go about this world. Because remember, if other people do not respect your boundaries, then you cannot be setting boundaries with them. You can only set boundaries with people that respect your boundaries. So if you're setting a boundary with someone and they are not respecting it, then you need to set a boundary with yourself about that person or that situation, because you know you're going to respect your own boundary. I think somebody in here really needed to hear that it is healthy to first fill yourself up to the point of overflowing before you give to others. Because the more you take away from yourself, the more you take away from your ability to help others and to give to them. So someone in here really needed to hear that. When you allow yourself to step fully into who you are, you don't just change your own life. You change the lives of everyone around you. I feel like you have been asking a lot whether you are enough. And you are enough. You always have been. The question is not whether you are enough. It's whether you are ready to believe it. Here's an exercise I want you to try. I want you to imagine for a moment that you let go of every expectation that's ever been placed on you. Imagine you don't have to be anything for anyone else. Who would you be if you were only answering to yourself? What would you choose if you weren't afraid of getting it wrong? You don't have to answer that right now. But I think it's worth sitting with. Because the truth is, the life that you are meant to create here is not something that anyone else can dictate for you. It is something only you can create, moment by moment, choice by choice, as you learn to trust yourself more and more. You've already made a bigger impact than you realize. You have touched lives in ways that you will never fully see. And that matters. You matter. Not because of anything that you've done, but because of who you are and how you show up in this world. And the best part is that you are still becoming. There is more ahead of you than you can imagine right now. You are here for a reason, and that reason is unfolding, step by step. The life you are creating is extraordinary, and the more you step into it, the more you will see how powerful you have been all along. By now I feel like we've reached a different space, a space where the distractions, the doubts, and all those outside voices have grown quieter, and what's left is you, the real you. Not the version you've had to explain or justify, but the one who exists without apology or compromise. That version of you, they've been waiting for this moment, waiting to meet you here. I want you to take a breath for a second. Just a deep, intentional breath. Not to calm yourself or to ground yourself, but simply to feel yourself. To notice the way that your chest rises and falls. To notice how alive you are in this very moment. Sometimes we forget what a miracle that is, don't we? The simple act of existing. The fact that you are here, breathing, thinking, feeling. It's not just a small detail. It's the point of it all. I say that because I feel compelled to say this next thing. Your life is not a mistake. It never has been. And I'm sorry if you felt that way before. I know there probably has been moments where you questioned why things happened the way they did, or why you were made the way you are. I think you've carried it for a long time, the wondering where you belong in this world. And that's okay, because a lot of us have felt that way, myself included. But what I see in you is so clear, so undeniable. You belong here, not because you've earned it, or because you've proven yourself, but because the very fact that you exist means you're meant to. And you have already changed the world every day with everything that you do. I want to push this even further because I feel like it's something that you really do need to hear. Maybe in a way that you haven't heard it before. The world is different because you are in it. And I mean that so literally. There are people and places and moments that have been changed forever just because you exist. You might not see it all, and you might never ever see the full ripple of your presence, but it is there. I promise you it's there. You are the kind of person who shifts things without even realizing it. You walk into a room and something changes, not because you're trying to, but because you carry something with you. A perspective, a kind of energy, a way of being that leaves things better than what you found them. And I'm sorry, but I don't think anyone has given you enough credit for that. And let's talk about what this really means. Because I don't think this is even just about the people you've touched or the spaces you've been in. I think it's about the way that your existence is an act of creation. Everything you do, every thought you think, every choice you make, every action you take is creating something new. And the life that you're creating, the one that only you can build, it's part of something so much bigger. What I see when I look at you is someone who is still in the process of becoming. And I don't mean that in the sense that you're incomplete, because you know you are already whole. What I mean is that you are still discovering just how much you are capable of. I think you have only scratched the surface of what it is that you are here to do. There's something about your energy that feels expansive, like it's just waiting for you to embrace the fullness of it. But I also get that stepping into that fullness might scare you. It's not that you doubt your potential. I know you can feel it. It's more that you wonder whether you are ready for it. You wonder whether you are capable of holding all of that power, all of that responsibility. You are. And not because you're perfect, and not because you have it all figured out. You're ready because you are willing, because you care enough to keep asking the questions, to keep growing, to keep trying. I feel like there's something rising within you right now. That idea or dream, or maybe just a quiet knowing that you are ready for more. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have the details figured out or not. What matters is that you're feeling it. That pull, that nudge, sense that something is shifting within you. I want to remind you of something that you might have forgotten. You are allowed to want more. You are allowed to step into a bigger version of yourself. You are allowed to take up space, dream wildly, and to live fully. I think the world has tried to make you feel small at times. I think it's told you to shrink, to doubt yourself, to play it safe. But you were never meant to be small. You were meant to grow, stretch, to expand into the kind of life that feels almost impossible to imagine right now. And the most beautiful part is that you don't have to do it all at once. You don't have to rush or force yourself to be ready before you are. You just have to take one step, just one. Because every time that you take a step towards the life that is calling you, the universe meets you halfway. Every choice you make, no matter how small, sends a signal that you are ready for more. I want you to imagine something for me. Close your eyes if you need to, and picture this. You are standing at the edge of your own potential. It stretches out in front of you, and it is vast and endless. It is not overwhelming. It is exciting, because for the first time, you are starting to see that all of it is available to you, and only to you. You do not take away anything from anyone else by using all of your potential. In fact, you are the only one that gets to use it in its raw form. You're the only one that has access to it. There's so much of it. It could help so many people, but they can't touch it when it's just raw potential. Only you can. You're supposed to take it and turn it into things that only you know, things that only you can do or say. And that is how you give it to other people. That is how you share it with other people. You're not doing anyone any favors by playing small. You are not doing anyone any favors by not using all of your potential. You are the only one that can use it, and if you don't, it does just go to waste. Nobody else can use it. That's the truth I want to leave you with. Everything you've ever wanted, everything you've ever dreamed of is already in motion. It's on its way to you. You just gotta keep going. You are not here to play small. You are here to change things, create, to grow, to love, to live fully. You are here to leave your mark, not by being anyone other than exactly who you are. And that's the real power of your life. It's yours, no one else's. And do remember that explicitly. Your life, it belongs only to you. You cannot give your life to someone else. You can give your life for someone else. Someone else can take your life, but still then, that does not become their life. What you do, how you move, how you interact with others, the impression you leave, all of that, it's things only you can do. Nobody can do it for you and nobody can take it from you. That's the real power of your life. So go, create, choose, step into the vastness of your potential, and know that no matter what, you have already made this world better just by being in it. When you are ready to take the next step, you already know what to do. And that is the end of the message, so I just want to take a quick moment and really say thank you and welcome to all the new people that have joined us here on this channel. It really is an honor to have you guys with me on this journey, and also to know that I get to be a part of your journey. Reading your comments, even though I don't reply to all of them, reading them is amazing, and it fills me with so much joy to see what you guys have to say, to hear how much it resonates, and I really want to thank you for that. I am so grateful and honored that I get to do this. I truly live to serve, and there's nothing I want more than to help others. Thank you and have a beautiful day.